Hello? Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Excellent. It's Friday.
Yes. Yes. And a Friday for a long weekend.
Yes.
Um, do you remember how to share your screen and everything?
I should be, let's see. Let's see.
It's actually should be a button down below for you on Zoom. It says share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then whatever you want
There
to
we
share.
go. Got it. Great.
Lovely.
Awesome. Who do we have with us today?
I think we're still gonna wait just a couple minutes. Not 9 yet.
Great. But we do have one person, correct? I think I see.
Hi, this is Alessandra. Hi, Tavita. We met a couple of times. I'm from Washington and Lee.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Hi,
Good.
Michelle.
It's so funny because
Hello.
I don't recognize the name obviously on the thing, so I was like, I wonder who that is.
It's a very long last name, so
Yes, I remember. Good
yeah.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna mute just because I do have a dog in the house, and he may make some noise.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Actually, on the first Fridays, I mute the whole presentation until the end, and then people can ask questions.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. Everybody's going to be muted.
Okay, wonderful.
Excellent. I hope everyone's enjoying their coffee this morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Michelle, we'll just maybe give one more minute and then get started.
No worries.
The sound is very good.
I know. I think this is better than I usually have on Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know. This feels, it feels like we're talking in the same room here, so that's nice.
Wonderful. Yeah, it is.
It is very good.
Just gonna do something real quick. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to welcome you to our second already this academic year of our first Fridays. And today we are very, very fortunate to have Michelle Avaroma with us from PeaceJam MidAtlantic. And last year she gave a webinar, which was fantastic. But we've got so many amazing updates. We knew we needed to share that with people around the Commonwealth. This session will be recorded so we can share with others after the call is complete. But I'm going to let Michelle take it away. Everybody's going to be muted until the end, probably give about 10 minutes or whatever after her presentation, and then you can ask your questions at that time. So I turn it over to Michelle.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Avroma, and I am the director for PeaceJam MidAtlantic. I'm very excited to be speaking to you this morning on this webinar and share some of the updates that we have with our programming and kind of give everyone an overview of what PeaceJam is. So PeaceJam actually is a international organization that brings together young people and Nobel Peace Prize winners. It was founded 24 years ago in Denver, Colorado by John and Yvonne, who were very aware of the youth in their community that needed role models, that needed to have the space to discuss the violence and the issues that their communities were facing. So they had this idea to connect at first the Dalai Lama with youth across the globe, and they approached the Dalai Lama about this program initiative, and he thought it was phenomenal and wanted to connect with more youth, and invited his other Nobel friends to join him in this effort. So yes, that is indeed the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu on your screen, who are dancing together. And their mission, and the mission of PeaceJam, is really to create young leaders who are committed to positive change in themselves, their communities, and the world. So students study the life and work of 14 of Nobel Peace Prize winners that work with PeaceJam. So not all laureates work with PeaceJam, but these 14 Nobel laureates have worked together over the last 20 plus years. The curriculum is provided to students in elementary, middle, and high school, and was developed to really provide skills and strategies to students on how to conduct conflict resolution and have discussion and dialogue across difference. It's all very age appropriate and really works to inspire youth to take action in their community. So about a year ago, PeaceJam launched an initiative to bring our programming to the Mid-Atlantic. And so while the program has existed all over the globe, it has never existed in this region. So we were very excited to kind of bring along all of our successes in programming and in this education space to this region. And we were very excited to partner with Campus Compact for Virginia, and particularly to Vida, because she has a rich history with PeaceJam as well. And so we launched this initiative to serve Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. And by doing that, we actually are utilizing a model to engage college students. I myself was a freshman at Florida State University when PeaceJam first came to the Southeast, which is how I got involved. And it really afforded me an opportunity to engage with students, provide this mentorship piece, but also gain so much in leadership and in getting to know my community that our university was in. So we are planning on connecting and training college students all over this region at various universities to go into their local K-12 schools and facilitate PeaceJam curriculum. So PeaceJam really works in this education, inspiration, and action model. We provide youth with this award-winning curriculum that I mentioned, which again is age-appropriate, it's standards-based. We've spoken with so many teachers who have utilized this curriculum, and it really just can follow state standards and really be mixed into curriculum, you know, in the classroom, as well as in this after-school setting that we also utilize. And again, with successful implementation, youth who are participating in PeaceJam really gain an understanding of their personal role in society and the power of participation through engaged education. So on your screen, you'll see the 14 Nobel laureates that we work with. And students, again, study the life and work of these laureates to identify some of these same patterns that occur in communities across the globe, where there are issues that these communities are facing, and it really takes one individual, one ordinary citizen. All of these Nobel laureates were just regular people who saw something wrong in their community and wanted to create change. And so all of the students that participate in PeaceJam, at the end of their chapter on a laureate, or at the end of certain activities, also participate in creating a service project by identifying an issue in their community and coming up with innovative and unique projects to address those issues in their community. It affords students in groups the opportunity to really practice those skills of coalition building and working together to solve problems in their community. PeaceJam's Nobel laureates identified these 10 global call to action issues as the most pressing issues facing our global community. And so students really follow a framework where they're looking at issues in their own communities that kind of align with these issues. And so they do their projects based on one of these issues. We have multiple schools or groups that do more than one project a year even, and it's really can depend on how the program is facilitated and the energy the students have to do more than one project each year. Of course, just starting out, a group will do one project. The really wonderful thing about this is that for students in 8th to 12th grade, they actually have the opportunity to attend a PeaceJam Youth Conference that is hosted in their region annually. So students, as the culminating activity for their PeaceJam program year, attend a youth conference in the spring that's actually hosted by a Nobel laureate. So they get to spend the weekend with not only students from all over the region, but also with a Nobel Peace Prize winner. During this weekend, students come together. They're divided into family groups, so they're separated from the students that they know from their own schools or programs and put into groups with students from all over the region. Really offers an opportunity to have dialogue and really exposes students to different perspectives and students from very diverse backgrounds, which is such a plus of PeaceJam. And they get to attend workshops and actually do service together and along with the Nobel laureate. And these family groups are actually facilitated by college students. So again, it's another level or another opportunity for college students to be trained to facilitate dialogue and discussion in these family groups. My own experience with PeaceJam, it really was a marvelous activity to participate in because you learn so much from these students. And these students are not only gaining that inspiration piece from this Nobel laureate, but the opportunity that they have to engage with students from all over the region and also the college students. It provides an extra level of mentorship. We are very excited to announce that in the Mid-Atlantic region, we've partnered with Montgomery County in Maryland, right outside of DC, and in a very unique partnership with Montgomery College, which is the junior college in the county, and the universities at Shady Grove. We will be hosting our first youth conference in April 18th and 19th of next year. I will be happy to send more information as all of those details get finalized and as we begin to recruit and offer students the opportunity to come and sign up. And so, like I said, these students really have the opportunity to get to know each other throughout the weekend. They present their projects at this conference, so in front of an audience of their peers and the Nobel laureate. They present their projects and really get to educate the group on the issues their communities are facing and how they took action. I will say there's a funny story about one of the photos on your screen. That's actually Nobel laureate Lema Bowie, who has a high school student on her back. She was giving a talk at a rally hosted on the steps of our Florida State Capitol, talking about the importance of youth and of women in peace movements. And then students were offered the opportunity to speak at the microphone. And this young lady named Cassidy shared her story about how in her family she had lost her mother to addiction and really felt this sense of abandonment by the women in her life. And Lema, being the strong and fierce woman that she is, spoke to this young lady directly and said, in my culture, we carry our children on our backs to show them that we will support them no matter what what happens and that we're always there for them. And she said, my child, I want you to get on my back. So the student's actually on her back and she carried her around. And you can see in the background, the attendees are just crying and laughing. And it was such a powerful moment because this Nobel laureate was really connecting with this young person and seeing her through her, her struggles and her story. And a few years later, actually, when Lima and her foundation in Liberia were ready to host their first youth conference, she actually reached back out to this young lady and invited her to attend their first youth conference in Liberia. And so it's truly incredible the connections that come out of just this program, this weekend, and really through any type of involvement with PeaceJam. I'll say from my own experience, I was fortunate to travel to different regions with PeaceJam, to Guatemala for their youth conference. And it really provides students with this cross-cultural exchange because the shared language in this is peace. And through this curriculum, students all over the globe are engaging in the same type of language and activities, so it provides students an opportunity to have this type of conversation with PeaceJam participants in the UK or in Ghana or in South Africa, in Guatemala. And so through that, young people can really connect and exchange ideas on how they're addressing the same issues, but in different ways, or how it manifests in their communities in different ways. So PeaceJam is really all about just creating space for students to have this type of engagement and connection. So, of course, I'm sure all of you are like, how do we get involved? How do we bring this to our school? And PeaceJam MidAtlantic and my role here is to really support that effort. And if you're interested, of course, maybe a first step for getting some of your students involved would be to start a PeaceJam club on your campus, allowing students to come together who may be interested in these 10 global call to action issues, who may be interested in getting involved in their community, providing mentorship to students in their local K-12 schools. So by starting a registered student organization, you can begin the process of recruiting and gathering students. Perhaps after that, you can start a PeaceJam coaching program. So I can come and train students in PeaceJam curriculum, connecting them with a local K-12 school or local high school that may be right off campus or around the corner from campus, and facilitating PeaceJam curriculum in an after-school setting for those students, or perhaps at a lunchtime club. We do have a lot of groups that can't meet after school, so they do their PeaceJam club at lunchtime. And so we can help facilitate that or really work to connect those dots for you. PeaceJam also traditionally has trained teachers to utilize curriculum in their classroom, so really integrated into their lesson planning, and that has also worked in the past. So if you know a middle school, a high school, or even an elementary school teacher who would be interested in learning more, please give them my contact information. Connect us. We're happy to spread the PeaceJam word. Another tool or resource that could be utilized even right now is the billionacts.org site. So Billion Acts is an initiative through PeaceJam in partnership with Google, actually, to document acts of peace across the globe. So up until now, and if you journey onto the website and check out some of these projects or acts of peace, you can see that 65 million acts have been logged so far. And so this could be a really great tool for your groups, even groups now that are doing service, who may want to log their projects or acts of peace onto this site. All of the students that participate in PeaceJam actually log their projects that they present at the youth conference onto billionacts.org site. So lots of opportunities for engagement there, just to start. And actually, PeaceJam hosts a Hero Award each year where we identify change makers from across the globe. And most recently, we recognized those Hero Awards at the Nobel Peace Summit in Mexico that happened about 2 weeks ago. So it's really an opportunity to just share and showcase the work, the phenomenal work that's happening across the globe that is student-led. And then, there are groups in Virginia that have started PeaceJam clubs, one of them being George Mason University. So if you want, you can go check out their Instagram or social media as they continue to develop their club. They're brand new, so just starting out like many of you would be. And they have a phenomenal group of young change makers who want to address their projects or bring projects to George Mason University's campus. What's beautiful about PeaceJam is that it is a very flexible program. So if you have a group that is already doing service or a registered organization on one of these campuses that could really partner with PeaceJam, let's talk about that too. It doesn't have to be a full PeaceJam initiative, but it can just to start kind of work with already existing initiatives, which is great. And really, PeaceJam becomes a connector on campus because of these 10 global call to action issues and the diverse interests of all of our laureates. It really brings together students of different majors, of different passions, and so they can all work together in this one group, but also connect and collaborate with other existing organizations on their campuses. So there are a lot of ways that PeaceJam can be introduced on a campus or in a community. And I'm putting my contact information up there for y'all, but I would love to take some questions and just have some discussion around PeaceJam programming, how I can be of support to you, and how we can help bring PeaceJam to the rest of Virginia.
Michelle, could you talk a little bit about the upcoming global anniversary celebrations that are going to be happening?
Yeah, so like I said, PeaceJam started about 24 years ago, so we'll be entering our 25th anniversary next year. And so there's work that's happening right now to create some events, some celebrations across the globe. And there will be conferences that are held in regions. So there will be a Pan-African conference. So all of our programs that are on the African continent will be joining forces to host a large conference in Africa. And it really will provide these programs, these affiliates, the opportunity to showcase the work that they've been doing and also do that incredibly important outreach to other nations that aren't currently participating in PeaceJam. And we hope to bring, Nobel laureates there and offer students this opportunity to engage in PeaceJam programming. Tavita actually knows a lot about hosting these larger conferences because she helped host PeaceJam's 10th anniversary. So she is a rock star and knows so much about this. And so then we'll be hosting one in the UK and hopes to have one here in the US as well. And it's really an opportunity for us to do outreach to different organizations as well, and really bring together a large group around our Nobel laureates and their work. So yeah.
And just so that those who are in Campus Compact for Virginia and are participating in PeaceJam initiatives, my target global connection is going to be with the Pan-African Conference because of the unique history of Virginia and the connection of the African diaspora to Virginia. So that's going to be one of our probably target, one of the global celebrations, the Pan-African one. But obviously, any of the groups can decide which one would resonate most with their group once that time comes. But we're looking more at 2021 as those conferences come about.
Yes, and they'll be hosting in 2021. And, you know, even at the campus level, there are so many opportunities for that engagement and exchange. And I was just speaking with this young woman from James Madison University yesterday and just talking about the community of Ghanese students that are at JMU and how to connect them to PeaceJam because of our programming that happens in Ghana each year. And they have such a strong program in Ghana. Students are so passionate and so engaged with PeaceJam work. So, you know, it really becomes an opportunity to welcome students from all over. You know, even here in the DC area, our work with American University students, we're establishing a PeaceJam club. We have exchange students from Japan and Korea that are getting involved because, like I said, this shared language is peace. And we want to welcome and promote programming that is inclusive and really values different perspectives and backgrounds.
So right now we're open to questions. So if anybody has a question, please go ahead and jump in. Let me see if I'll unmute everybody to make sure you have a chance to speak. All right.
You know, even going back to our global call to action issues, and you know, a lot of students are just hungry for programming like this that offers them the opportunity to just have dialogue around the issues that they know are happening in their communities. And students, even within 5 minutes that I've had presentations with students, when I put this up on the board and I ask them, you know, I'd like you to take a few minutes to think about which one you're really passionate about. How do you see it manifesting in your communities? And what are some of the ideas you have for addressing those issues? Students are so quick and are so aware of what's happening in their communities and can identify these problems. And for some of them, they need a little help with identifying the root causes of that and how we can address the root causes to bring change to some of these issues. And some students recognize that all of them are interconnected, which they absolutely are. And, you know, working in one really helps further the others. So it really just offers students the space to talk about these issues and take action.
Michelle, maybe you could talk a little bit, much like yourself, about some of the college students who participated. What do you know about some of the benefits that they've had once they've been in PeaceJam and kind of gone off into the future?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a strong PeaceJam alumni network that has developed over the last few years because students that are involved with PeaceJam really get engaged on their campus and with PeaceJam groups on their campus because they see it as an avenue for change and for connection while they're on campus. But even after they graduate, as a result of the skills that they're developing for coalition building or, you know, event planning or trainings, facilitating dialogue, having discussion with individuals who think differently. All of those skills really become assets once they've entered grad school or the workforce. And so many alumni can really speak to that. In my own experience, I will say PeaceJam provides a leadership pipeline for students on campuses because they can really grow within the program, take on new responsibilities while they help grow the program. And, you know, even for me, I was a mentor at our youth conferences and I became our mentor coordinator, so helping to facilitate the trainings for the mentors. From there, you know, took a leadership role in our PeaceJam club, then actually stayed on at Florida State University to get my graduate degree and was the graduate assistant for PeaceJam, all while having these opportunities through PeaceJam to travel to places like Guatemala or to different conferences here in the US And so all of these experiences really prepared me for my work now. And when I actually studied public administration, specializing in nonprofit management, and when I went to go work at the first nonprofit after graduate school, so many of the skills and tools that I utilized were from my PeaceJam experience, which was such an asset to me in the workforce. And now, obviously, coming back into the PeaceJam family to help with this initiative, I can think about all of these instances or lessons and experiences that I had as a PeaceJam participant that really inform my community engagement now, that really inform how I interact with communities that we help serve and serve with. So it really becomes this long-lasting relationship with the program. And even launching this initiative in this region, I've met so many alumni from across the globe that are now living in this region doing this work in different capacities of doing this work. And so there are just so many opportunities for students that they would not have if they weren't engaging in programming like this. And so often we would hear the college students who say, I wish I would have had a program like this in high school. Or the graduating senior on a campus who says, I wish I would have found this sooner, because it really becomes a community for them. And we really hope that it can be an asset, a resource, and a tool for students at universities across Virginia.
Michelle, if we wanted to share this with students to see if there was interest or with other folks on campus, is there a place, do you have a website or a simple location where I can share materials with others, or for them to know what first steps are if they did want to join? And here I'm thinking even, whether it's at the university that I work with, or even I just wonder if the local high school or middle school
Absolutely.
might be interested.
Absolutely. So we do have a website. You can absolutely guide them there. I included my information because I am here in this region, so I would like to support those interested schools. And this presentation is also available to be shared. It's a quick link that we can share after this webinar, so you can even share this. And I have handouts and materials that could be resources to do that outreach. So we can absolutely share that.
Great. Thank you.
No problem.
I also want to let everyone know that our fellow, who's actually en route to meet with Michelle right now, her name is Addison Tucker. She's actually going to be another point person for PeaceJam for the Campus Compact members. So she will be available as well. Michelle is the expert and the lead for this region for PeaceJam MidAtlantic, but you will also have any additional help that you want through Campus Compact for Virginia. So we actually have somebody here. And I do want to add too, that when Michelle was talking about alumni, I'm very fortunate that because of my history with PeaceJam, I've been able to see where our students have ended up, and they often come back to me talking about PeaceJam as something that they use in their everyday life still. And one of the things that I see college students who are mostly, any major can get involved, but the ones that it really has resonated with are those who want to go into education, any type of health and human service, so like social workers, medical people. I've seen people who are interested in journalism. Actually, when I was at the conference in Ghana, many of the students were journalism majors, college students who were getting involved, as well as those who were interested in working in environmental sciences and engineering. So it's amazing the attraction the program can have for students who don't necessarily sometimes think of their major as being an engagement major, but then see PeaceJam and become engaged from that. So I just want to offer that up to you as well, because sometimes, a lot of times college campuses are like, well, who do we reach out to? And I'm like, everyone. Because it does have such an amazing amount of a variety in terms of things people can get involved with.
Absolutely. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And, you know, also because our laureates are very diverse in terms of what they have focused on, what they did previous to, you know, joining this amazing group of laureates. We have a Nobel Peace Prize winner who's a sculptor by trade, and so really is focused on empowering people with the arts and making that an opportunity for connection. And so I agree. It really is such a diverse group that gets involved with PeaceJam, which really enriches the experience because students are meeting each other that they normally would never meet because they're students outside of their major or outside of who they would normally hang out with. So it becomes a really great asset to the program.
So any other questions at this point? This recording will be shared, and you'll see you'll be able to have Michelle's contact information. Of course, you have Campus Compact for Virginia's information as well. So please reach out to us if you have any questions or are interested in how we can connect, whether it's directly through campus or if you have community partners who are in K-12 education and you think this might be something that would benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, we are a very flexible program and we've worked with lots of different groups and organizations, faith-based, boys and girls clubs, campuses, K-12, after-school centers, 21st century centers, you know. So there are really lots of opportunities to connect programming.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Yes, happy Friday, everyone. And hopefully we'll see you for the next first Friday. And thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll send all of those materials to Tavita to share.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.